Well, we're out here setting our feeders today. I get asked a lot of questions about our feeders, and I'd like to go over a few of them with you. Putting on your feeders really should be determined, first of all, by your local regulations. You got to make sure that you can put a feeder out and what time of the year you can put them out. Secondly is the environment that they're in. The environment around, the way the climate is, and weather changing patterns and everything else should all play into the fact of when and where you should put your feeders. So definitely play Mother Nature as a major factor. You know, the next question I get asked the most is why? Why do you feed? Supplement feeding is crucial in many parts of the country for the simple fact that Mother Nature is harsh. They need extra feed because in this environment especially, there is no food around. So we need to get feed into the deer so they can survive the winter. Baiting is also part of it. In states that allow baiting, bringing them into a feeder and keeping the food in a good confined area is strategic, and people use baiting as another necessary reason why they use feeders. Another question I get asked is where do I place my feeders? Well, that can be there's a wide range of opinions on this. I really like to have mine where I can access my feeder really well. I like to be able to use my Gator or Ranger to get to my feeder so I can easily load it up. I also like to have it where I can drive up and pull camera cards real easy off of it. So accessibility to me is a key factor. Some people like to get close to bedding areas so their deer don't have to move much. That can be had as well, but in my opinion, I like to keep it kind of away from the trees so the rodents stay off of it and I get a good accessibility to the feeders. So that's where I place my feeders. Another question I get asked is how do you set up your feeders? Our feeders are set up, they don't have any legs that come with them, so you need to use something that's either existing or you put out into the environment. Our 40-pound feeder, for example, will attach to a T-post, a fence post, a tree. Our 300-pound feeder will slide actually over the top of a 4x4 post, or you can actually cut off a tree about that size and slide it over that. Our 600-pound feeder they got here, you can put that over a 6x6 post or cut off a tree to that same size diameter. So that's how our feeders go. They don't have legs that come with them. They actually are used with other apparatus in the wild. The question I get asked a lot is how do you keep the rodents, raccoons out of your feeder? Well, the sheer design of it in itself was the basis for it to keep them away. That single post design that goes up into the center of the feeder really eliminates them from able to climb up and get into the feeder. We took it to a whole nother level when we brought in the feeder sleeve. The feeder sleeve goes around that single post and really creates a big round circle that they can't grip onto. So between the sheer design of it and the feeder sleeve, we keep most of the rodents out of there. I get asked a lot what feeds work best in our feeders. Well, you know, a wide range of them do. All of our feed ports are adjustable, so they'll adjust flow. So depending on what size pellets or corn that you put in there, it can all work well in our feeder. I personally like to use a corn pellet mix. I'll put in 50% corn, mix it in well with a high protein pellet. In our environment up here, they need both the fatty content and then also the protein. But you'll find that most feeds that are on the market will work well in our feeders.
All right, we got our feeders all set and filled up. We're back here in the blind. This blind is not far from that feeder, so we can sit back and observe the deer. I really like to do this to take an inventory of my herd and also just to see the activity that's going on in the off season. Stay tuned to BanksOutdoors.com for more tips on Banks products.